Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1. And man, I had to jam together this video real quick because we had a big situation that's happening in New York City. Massive power outage in Manhattan and other parts of New York City. So I had to get this out as soon as possible because there's too many things matching up, the things I've been saying. Now, like I've said before, if this, I'm not saying I have the exact timeline or anything. There's just a lot of things that are lining up. And then as far as the numbers, it's really freaky what's going on with the numbers. That's been going on for quite a while. But a lot of things are pointing to it. Let's see what you think about this. So, like I said in my last video, and please watch my last several videos, the iPad Goat 2 completely solved. Is about the attacks coming on America. And I just want to reiterate to anybody who's seen this for the first time or anybody else, there are major tsunamis, mega tsunamis coming to both East and West Coast. That's shown in iPad Goat 2, which is an animated movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it, iPad Goat 2. Again, it looks like it's just a stupid cartoon, animated, computer animated, but it is a lot of coded information about things that have happened in the last few years, a lot of false flags, actually over 40, maybe over 50 actually, of different false flags that have happened, from natural disasters to political events and all kinds of things, and marking out the rise of the Antichrist, and also showing in a small way and hinting at it the birth of the man-child into heaven at the same time as the Antichrist is birthed on earth. So I call it the twin births. And my life has really been an example of that. I recently had twin babies. They showed up first in a 3D ultrasound. It looked like yin and yang the way they were placed in the picture. I saw them in the picture. There's just a lot of things going on with that. I have a lot of videos that you can go back and look at and see. I have a lot of information I've brought. Now, I've solved a lot of parts, I believe, a lot of parts of iPad Go 2. But the main thing that I'm working on right now, as far as when I say I'm solved things, it means that I have uncovered a lot of the secrets in it that matter. And so what I'm talking about is the massive attacks that are going to happen on the United States, starting with the mega tsunamis. Now, there are a lot of precursors. For example, right now, there is Hurricane Barry. I want to call it Hurricane Obama because that's really what it is. But or you can call it Hurricane Barry Soetoro. That was Obama's name early in his life. He has had many names, and he has many names in the Bible. He is the Antichrist, and he will be revealed as that. So the timing of Hurricane Barry right now is not a coincidence by any means. If you don't see that, I don't know what to say to you. So right now, there's a lot of coincidences with what's going on in New York City. Not coincidences, but a lot of things that they're doing on purpose. And I'm going to show you. So as of July 4th and 5th, like I said, we're possibly on this 11-day timeline. Again, we've had two previous 11-day timelines. We might even have another section after that, but I'm saying we're on this 11-day timeline. So she drops the apple on 6/23, which again is the calendar's off by 11 days to the Julian calendar, like I mentioned in my last video. I'm not going to go over everything. But also, July 4th and 5th on the Gregorian is on the Chinese lunar calendar. It's the 6th lunar month, the second and third day, which is 6/23. And I've said that's the birth of the Antichrist is 6/23. This is a backwards 6. If I would go like this is a backwards 6 right here, and then upside down 2, and you can see the 3 right there. Sorry, this is not the best highlighter thing here. I use my pen. Sometimes you can see it, but that's a 3. Anyway, and so 4th and 5th of July are actually, it's a 2-day time frame for the attack. So I'm going based on mainly July 5th because that's the East Coast. So we're talking about the East Coast. Okay, so like I said, basically on those days there were major earthquake that happened. And that was a 6.4, which was previously a 6.6, and you add that 6.4, it's 13, which is their number of rebellion. And then we have a magnitude 7.1 on July 5th that happened. I talked about big events happening on that day, thought the major attack might happen, but it looks like these are really signaling the major attacks that are coming. So, and this is kind of weird. I thought about another movie called San Andreas, and they actually show in the movie San Andreas with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, basically there was a 7.1 earthquake that took out Hoover Dam. And I've talked about Hoover Dam being on the $50 bill. If you fold it lengthwise in half, fold it 2 times in the middle, kind of like a pentagram or like a baseball diamond, it shows the Hoover Dam breaking. And it's kind of crazy. It's in this movie in San Andreas, and there's a 7.1, and Ridgecrest, where these earthquakes were, it's only like 150 miles from Hoover Dam. It's really crazy. And so they may be signaling a bigger event that's coming, and different people are talking about these earthquakes. They're maybe lining up with the San Andreas. There's earthquakes going up and down California right now, and we just had that big one, semi-big one. I mean, it's small on the earthquake scale to a lot of people, but a lot of people in Seattle, I grew up in Seattle, felt like the ground drop. I mean, literally drop a couple inches under their feet, which is very disconcerting, very crazy. So basically, like I said in my last video, July 11th and 12th is a 2-day period. So on the 12th, which is today, yesterday, we actually had, I thought maybe a 7.7 because a lot of things were showing 7.7. And guess what? It was actually 7 times 7, which is 49. So it was a 7.7 in a sense. 7 times 7 equals 49, 4.9. See, they do these numbers. It's crazy. So 49 is 7 times 7. I mean, it's another way of doing it. So they weren't ready for the big one yet for some reason or something. Maybe, and it might be coming super, super soon. There will be something coming very soon. Guarantee that's bigger than, if we waiting for the mega tsunamis. Because when the mega tsunamis hit both coasts, first it starts in Hawaii. It's simultaneously or basically at the same time. Hawaii will be hit with a nuclear torpedo, and it will look like Kilauea just blew up the whole island, and a lot of the section of this East Rift Zone of Hawaii will fall into the ocean, causing a massive displacement of Earth and cause a massive tsunami wave that'll destroy most of Hawaii, maybe all of it, go across the Pacific and hit the West Coast. Basically at the same time, another one will be started on the East Coast, and I've shown that many times in my videos, so just so you know if you haven't heard yet. But this magnitude 4.9, okay, that just happened, and then I said there would be another major escalation event by today, or yesterday or today. Well, we have a couple things possibly. So we have this major blackout. Okay, New York City is dark, and I believe it's so right now. It happened about an hour ago or something. Anyway, a lot of portions of Manhattan stuff are dark, which is crazy. And guess what? This is not by chance. Look at these pictures here. These people watching the sun go down while all the power is gone. That's got to be so intimidating because you're in a big city. There's all these people. People are trapped in elevators and on subways and all that kind of stuff when the power went out. It's got to be a massive nightmare. And you think about looting, and you think about people taking advantage of each other and all that kind of stuff. I would not be in a major city right now. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, so the facts here. Exactly 42 years after a massive blackout, and that caused by lightning strike. Apparently, yeah, right. But maybe that was that. Lightning strike and electrical substation plunged New York City into darkness for 25 hours, with looters raiding 1,600 stores and over 1,000 fires set across the city. And then Manhattan. Just one second. Let me pause for 1 second here. Sorry, I had a little problem in the background, the sound behind me outside. Anyway, and then Manhattan is tonight in darkness as a widespread power outage has disrupted traffic lights, plunging several subway stations, business and tourist centers all across Midtown and Upper West Side into darkness as night falls. Now again, it was 42 years ago, exactly on this day of July 13th that this happened. And are any of you going to believe this is coincidence? 42 years ago exactly, in 1977. Didn't I just say 7-7? Remember 7-7? There's 7-7 again, and there's more. Okay, 1977. Okay, like I said, there was a blackout that happened in Argentina, Buenos Aires. It was Argentina and Uruguay. It was massive blackout, and it happened at 7:07 a.m. And like I mentioned in my last video, the huge phallic symbol, the obelisk, the shadow in the morning basically went across the city, and it made a shadow across the smaller obelisk down the city, which Mr. Cat Eye in his video showed. And there's the clock right there, and it made it 7:07. And so they're all pre-forecasting these things on 7/7. So that earthquake is 7 times 7, which is 49, and then this blackout happened exactly 42 years ago, exactly on the day. Are you kidding me? Okay, so 42 years ago, it is the number. 42 is a number for the Antichrist, and by example, Revelation 3:15, and the beast was given a mouth uttering haughty and blasphemous words, and it was allowed to exercise authority for 42 months, which is Obama. You'll see. I mean, all this power is going out and everything. Let me go back to here. So 7:07 or 7/7 is 1977. Okay, it's crazy. This is just absolutely nuts. I hope you're following this. I mean, all the power went out everywhere. You know, you got Times Square right there. Everything's going out. All the traffic lights and everything. It's just crazy. Another thing that happened just recently here too, to kind of mark out this time that I thought it might be. So a major escalation event of World War III. This is in the Sun. Liar, Iran to ramp up production at secret nuclear enrichment bunker built under a mountain to protect it from U.S. attack. That's a big deal. That's going to escalate things, and so that's going to cause the United States probably. I mean, again, all this stuff is just what they want you to hear, what they want you to see. So more stuff to escalate World War III, like I said, and then possible tsunamis coming. And I'm just going to say, just be prepared. If you're in these areas, I would get out, go on a vacation or something. Get out of these areas on the coasts for a little while, just in case. I mean, it's coming eventually. I would move if I were you. I mean, the evidence is just striking. You know, as far as Hawaii goes, Puna Geothermal Venture, I've done videos on this. They actually been fracking a live volcano, Kilauea, and there's been studies I've shown where you know, geological studies have been done where it shows their fracking is equivalent to the earthquakes and eventually all the fissures that took off and all the eruptions and things, and they didn't care. And they did like an 8-year study that I have documents of, and they didn't care. They kept the government, the local government, the state government of Hawaii, they didn't care. They kept letting it happen. And the evidence was very clear. And so they want this thing to go. They're preparing it. Just you think about it. The fissures that came from Kilauea, they went all the way down to the coast. Okay, they're a score line. And when they hit the right spot in Hawaii with this torpedo, all that land will fall off, and it's pre-scored. It's ready to go. It's pre-weak, and it will fall into the ocean. Anyway, this is all planned. And then we've seen New York tsunami on movies. It's on the $100 bill. Look up $100 bill. Even Jonathan Kleck does a great video showing that with the 3 layers of basically shading and stuff on the $100 bill that show waves going over the buildings. We have, for example, St. John's Cathedral, St. John the Divine's Cathedral. Look up that. Look up the pillars in St. John St. John's the Divine Cathedral. I'm not going to talk right now. And the pillars show New York City with waves going over top of them. I mean, it's all over. If you have your eyes open and you're looking, you'll see that all this stuff's been predictively programmed on people. So I just want to put that out there. And this crazy numbers that are lining up that they're trying to put out as basically, and Hurricane Barry. I said it would be a hurricane. It would be Hurricane Barry when it was just a storm. This is all easily predictable when you know their numbers, when you know what they're trying to do. The Antichrist is about to be born, and I just don't know exactly the days, but I'm guessing. I'm guessing, and we could see tsunamis here the 16th, 15th, 16th. It could be delayed another week or something, or maybe we'll be on another 11-day thing. I don't know, but this stuff's getting more and more intense. The stuff with Iran and the world issues are getting more and more intense. And just wait for this powder keg to blow anytime. So this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.